Nakakon 2022. If you know me, you know I like to go at things at 110% to really an extreme and over the top level. What? You raise me up? Okay. If you don't know Nakakon, it's a yearly convention held in Kansas, all about like Japanese, anime, cosplay, and any kind of like weeb thing. It used to be hosted over at the community college in Overland Park. Hey, fact checker here. Well, apparently what I thought was at the community college was actually Japan Fest that had Nakakon panels, but was not actually Nakakon. It was a much smaller festival. Nakakon, however, was held at a different college, just not the community college over at JCCC, before it got moved over to the Overland Park Convention Center in 2015. So, I was fucking wrong. College in Overland Park, but this year, it was bigger and better than ever, being hosted over at the OP Convention Center, which I didn't even know existed. Originally, I wasn't going to go, until my friend gave me a free ticket, and then I decided, alright, let's document it. And also, let's go in a dress. So, what are cons like? What is it like to go in a cosplay versus not? Just what is Nakakon like even? Alright, hello. It is now just about 1:15. I still have not slept, so this is going to be one of my patented no sleep ever. Gonna be up for like 36 hours. This is the cosplay I'm going to be putting on and putting together. And then after getting in the dress, the next step was 1, committing all the way and shaving my legs for the leggings. And step 2, the 2-hour makeup session, and then yeah, that took 2 hours. But at the end of all that, I was quite pretty. The mask, I do look very, very feminine. With my sleepless prep done, it was now time to head to the convention. But first I had to pick up my forced cameraman and friend Jesse, and then continue our very uneventful drive to the oasis of anything that wasn't cool 20 years ago.
I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna forget this is a thing and just point it at the grass like the entire time. I'm already doing
you for.
You're not paying me at all.
Unfortunately, because I'm terrible at planning things, in fact, in my first intro I recorded, I mentioned I didn't come up with this idea at all until 3 a.m. the night before the convention. And so, that continued on to when I didn't check the CDC guidelines and didn't realize to be fully vaccinated, you also have to have the booster. Headed up and got turned away. So we had to quickly schedule and run halfway across town to a different town to get the booster shot. So I'm going to be... However, shout out to the father who did a quadruple take and then quickly walked to the other side of the store from me. We were finally let in to the oasis of anime. Yeah, we got to break through the window. The check-in as well. Got a bunch of compliments. Guess he hasn't got any on his cosplay.
Cosplaying me.
Yeah, cosplaying himself. But I did have someone want to take a picture with me, so that was an interesting experience. That was new. I know. I felt like the belle of the ball. Then, in con spirit, we decided to go to one of the panels. The actual voice actress for Hanj decided to come in, answer questions about the character, about the experience, anything like that. Unfortunately, this was about the time that I was super crashing.
Resting on the rail is the best idea.
And so I slept through most of the panel. But I did get a little bit of footage before I conked out for about an hour. Next, since I was still fading pretty quick, we decided to go get some food, and I decided to take off the extra 15 pounds of hair.
I'm just dark.
Yeah, I'll shoot up the gamma in post, but most of the cosplay is off. We just got out of an Attack on Titan Q&A that I slept through most of. Thoughts on the first day?
That was not over yet.
Well, it's not over yet,
Yeah,
but...
you got 2 hours, so it's pretty alright, I'd say.
It's pretty good so far. But then, the piece de resistance, the piece of this convention that was probably my favorite, Jesse's favorite, and also was the last thing I expected to either enjoy, go to, or be at this convention, the EDM concert. At first, I walked up and the doors were locked. But then at second, when I went to the correct doors, I was just thinking, what is this, and why is this at an anime convention? Is there like a big parallel between anime fans and EDM? I couldn't really tell you, but once I got in there, videotaped it a bit, I was like, this scene ain't for me. So we left, and then came back, and then I loosened the fuck up, got in there, and I spent the rest of the night fucking dancing to EDM. Which is quite surprising, as I both hate EDM, hate dancing, and really don't like being in crowds. I can say that going to a con, the best way to do it is in cosplay. The energy, the people, it all just increases by being in cosplay. It makes you feel like a physical part of the convention. Day one was pretty much the intro to the convention. You need to go on site if you've never been, figure out where everything is, in this case, building 1, building 2, how to go, what doors are locked, that I always messed up, and I always chose the locked doors, like 9 times out of 10, and figuring out food, restaurants, if you're staying at the hotel, anything like that, just learning your way around. That's day one. Unless you go to the con yearly, and this is the same location that it has been before. Now day 2 is where we finally got to experience the con.
Alright, hello. I'm speaking softly because I just woke up. It is 6 a.m. So probably the first one up in the house.
Waking up at the ripe time of 6 a.m., which marks roughly about 3 hours of sleep, I very quickly jumped out of bed and sat and waited until I could get into the shower, which was around 9 a.m. After beautifying myself, we headed there to the land of make-believe and very expensive costumes. The immediate feeling of walking in jeans and a t-shirt instead of this outlandish dress was that I was more of a fan, that I was just kind of going there instead of like being a part of it. Kind of like going to a parade and being in the parade, where anyone can identify you immediately while not being able to identify who you are personally. It gives us instant anonymity and instant belonging to a group. However, being a civilian did not change my enjoyment of the con at all, because today we knew where everything was and we were going to experience it.
Assuming this is a line for the DDR.
Yeah, probably.
Really familiar.
Who is it?
Sailor Moon.
Alright, con update corner. Starting with the arcade room. From Dug Dug to DDR, past this shooting game that I know pretty much nothing about, they had like everything a Japanese arcade could possibly want. It was a blast, it was loud, it's probably one of my favorite locations there, and I'm not alone because it was always fucking packed. Also, shout out to DDR Man Calf Extreme Extraordinaire, who deserved the gold medal for his calves alone. Now that's peak. We had a nice siesta after DDR completely killed me. Yeah, I had a nice siesta. We're gonna go get some lunch so we don't lose our parking. Whoop! Almost lost my mask. We went to Jeopardy.
Whose pet is that?
It's gonna be
Come on! This is why Jeopardy was fun. Even if they stole my anime eye idea that I thought of years ago and never used anywhere. That said, Jesse is still the king at being able to identify people by their eyes alone, and I still do not even begin to understand it. But maybe the trick comes in how he very intensely makes eye contact while unboxing his Ishtar keychain. However, while the unboxing was easy, putting it on his necklace was not.
I'm phoning a friend.
Alright, here, you can record me doing it. Okay, let's see here. Alright. I need someone to like wipe the sweat off my forehead. Got it, yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's the
so
force of a fucking god. Then, with another quick stop by the vendor hall, Jesse got another keychain, I got 2, and then it was finally time to ditch him to go to the Danganronpa Q&A, but I mean, he understood. Oh, and the raffle that I did not win. Which you may or may not know if you frequent conventions or not, they do have some 18 plus panels. What you may not know is to get into those you have to have a wristband that you get before 9 p.m. And so thinking, why not experience everything? Me and Jesse both got them and decided to go in to the AnimeCon horror stories. Slightly over max capacity, we were packed in like fucking sardines. Jesse on my left, another woman on my right, but the host was pretty charismatic.
A bottle of scotch in this, tequila in this hand, a glass of tequila in this hand. His dick is covered by his own hat.
And then, it was 10:30. It was finally almost time for me to change into someone almost unrecognizable from myself. That's right, it was time for EDM Day 2. After the J-pop concert, that is. There was dance line, there was dance circles, there was so much jostling and pushing, and I burned pretty much every fucking calorie I've ever consumed in my life. And finally, Day 2 was coming to a close. There we go, closing words of Day 2.
Whack.
Yeah. So like I was saying, Day 2 felt almost like an entirely different beast. I would have never realized that stark difference between going as a part and then going just normally if I never decided to go on one day into full cosplay and then one without. It would have been lost on me forever, and I would have just continued to experience it the same way every time. Cosplay is a lot of money and a lot of work, but the passion, the benefit from someone complimenting it after you put in that hard work, that belonging and ease of just fitting in immediately, all makes it much more worth it. And I think the best way to experience a convention is by going in cosplay, and I definitely will be going again next year, again in cosplay, but probably not in a dress. And finally, the last day of the con, Day 3. I got up, washed, deodoranted, ate a very nutritious breakfast, and I was on my way. Today I'm going alone. I have some friends there I'll probably meet. Yeah, so this one will be like the closing thoughts and then kind of wrapping everything up in my mind so I can put it all together. Jesse had plans for today, so I went alone. I just decided to let this be a decompression day and kind of think on the experience as I walked through and wound down. And so, I went to an Idol concert. Now, I'm not a fan of K-pop. Most of the songs I've heard just don't do anything for me. But let me tell you, these groups can fucking dance. And that was kind of the end of Day 3 for me. The rest was just me walking around the con, kind of being a little bit tired, hungry, a little worn out. And then, honestly, I just kind of went home a little bit early. Day 3 was just really slow, lethargic. There wasn't that many people there compared to the other 2 days. And yeah, it was just a decompression and relaxation. Finally, after 4 days, roughly 8 hours of sleep, and 3 cans of Diet Mountain Dew, 2 cans of Diet Coke, 2 large Cokes from McDonald's, 2 full Rowdy energy drinks, 1 Red Bull, 1 Kickstart, and 1 DBZ themed energy drink, the total comes up to 1,061 milligrams of caffeine over the 4-day experience, which roughly comes out to 365 milligrams, or 2 full Rowdy energy drinks every day. No, I don't have a problem. Why would you think that? So what's con like? What is Nakakon like? What is cosplaying like? What could you experience? Well, that sense of belonging, the experience of ease of communication, the hard work and passion that everyone from staff volunteer to the hobby cosplayers, the vibes of the EDM, the vendor shops, the food, the arcades, pretty much just an experience you're probably not going to have anywhere else. And that's the beauty of conventions. Every convention's going to be different. There's going to be different people you meet, different cosplayers, different arcades, same cosplayers in different costumes, and it'll always be a new experience that you can experience. So I'd say I recommend it. And if you're ever going to go, I also recommend going in costume.